8th of morning star. I awoke to the sound of a torrential downpour, which ruined my plans for a quick stopover. It was raining so hard that I really couldn't contemplate going anywhere. I spent the morning hanging around the inn. While chatting with the innkeeper, I learned that her husband, who also happened to be the town wizard, was a scholar who studied vampires and other undead. Hey, Jonah, are you busy?
Running an inn weren't my plan, but Falian decided to move here, so I joined him.
Oh, Falian is your husband? And what does he do here in Morthal?
They say Falian of Morthal has studied vampires, Draugr, and all manner of undead.
Falian of Morthal. Is that his official title then? Wait, what do you mean studied vampires? This piqued my curiosity, and I wanted to find out if he had any advice for me on how to resist the darkness that lived within me.
The dark elves built it after they fled from Morrowind. Sight to see.
Yes, that sounds interesting, but I really want to know more about your husband. I would like to speak with him. I'm, curious about the undead. Do you think he would speak with me?
Yeah,
Oh, good, very good. I'll go right now.
Falian had his work to keep him busy, and I needed something to do. So, here I am.
Don't worry, I won't take much of his time.
I take what little business I can get. I'm grateful for anyone willing to spend money here.
Aye, look, I'll be back in a bit, and then we can chat more, okay? I was so keen to speak with him, in fact, that I even ventured out into the rain to find him. Damn, I forgot to ask which house is theirs. Is it this one? No. This? No, that is the alchemist shop. Is it over here?
Have you seen my mother?
No, sorry, boy. This one? No, this is... right, the barracks. And here? No. Really? They live in the farthest house from the inn? Here we go. Whew, here goes nothing.
If you're here to purchase, I have many spells available. Do come in.
My mother and father died years ago. Falian takes care of me now.
Oh?
I asked Falian if someday I could learn from the mages in Winterhold, but he doesn't like that idea.
Papa says that I shouldn't keep waiting. Why not? Mom has to come home sometime.
He seemed eager to discuss my condition, although I got the sense that it was only because I was an interesting scientific subject to him. Falian of Morthal?
My talents are much needed here in order to keep Morthal safe.
Right. Look, I need to speak with you. And so that's how I got turned, and then I was able to resist for a while, but then the darkness and evil overtook my mind until, well, I absorbed some kind of power from a dragon. A dragon. And it brought me to my senses. Well, now that it did, I cannot go back. But I am afraid. What if I cannot We spoke at control it? length, and he was adamant in his belief that the only sure way to resist the evil pull was to cure it altogether. Get cured? Well, that would be wonderful, but how? Is it even possible? The first problem with that was that it required a filled black soul gem. A gem that contained the soul of another human being, one who had been murdered specifically for that purpose. So we have to use evil to cure evil. The second problem was that it required me to willingly condemn that soul to oblivion in exchange for my own being returned to me. It was a foul deal. But then again, nothing about this accursed vampirism had been fair or right or good. Why is this all so unfair? Falion let me stay for a while in his home, thinking over the situation. I did not inform him right away that I already had such a gem in my possession. I had Astrid's gem.
My talents are much needed here in order to keep Morthal.
Even after all the events that had transpired, I had kept it close in my pack ever since that fateful night at the old sanctuary. Putting my hand into the pocket where I kept it, I held it within my palm and could still feel the faint, warm pulsing. Should I use it? Should I let Falion trade Astrid's soul to get my own back? Or was that just further condemning myself? I thought long, and I thought hard, and I finally made my choice. I was going to do it, in large part because Astrid had already promised herself to the Daedric Lord Sithis. And Oblivion was the home of the Daedric Lords, right? So if I sent her soul to Oblivion, I was only sending it to where it would have gone anyway. And that was something I could live with. Falion, I want the cure.
Morthal is a troubled place. It's my duty to see it rest in peace.
Here, I have the gem.
Very well. Meet me at the summoning circle in the marsh at dawn. We shall banish the creature you have become.
My decision made, I turned back to Falion and informed him that I had the soul gem and wanted to undergo the ritual. He told me to meet him at the summoning circle in the marsh at dawn. I left Falion's in a turmoil of roiling emotions. Gods above, could I really be free? I was hopeful, excited, terrified, and even a little sad, if truth be told. Change always meant leaving a part of yourself behind. As much as I wanted this change, it meant giving up something that had become part of me. The blood-sucking, malice-bearing, evil part could be gone, and good riddance. But then, on the flip side, were the gifts that had come with it. In particular, the magical power that I had gained. Oh, to be free. But will I lose my magical ability? Oh, sweet Mara, I love how it feels in my hands. The power pulsing through my fingertips. Warm for healing. Solid for the shield. Pinpricks of ice. And the burn for fire. Soft like snow falling from my fingers. Oh, that might be my favorite one of all. It was hard to accept that I'd probably lose it when I was cured. I walked back through the rain, contemplating all of these things, and oblivious to the fact that I was getting soaked through and through. When I got to the inn, I warmed up by the fire and then spent the rest of the day in my room. I thought and I prayed, and then I went through many of my spells and just practiced casting them one last time. Okay, one last time. Candlelight. Poof. 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 Iron flesh. And again. Water breathing. Then telekinesis. Oh, this one is fun. Bask and calm. Let's see, what else? Clairvoyance. And then one I have used a lot. Invisibility. And let's see, how about a muffle? And one I haven't used a lot. Pacify. Oh, that was loud. And then what about flame cloak and ice spike? There, and oh, maybe I should not shoot her deer. Let's see. There's wall of frost. Then we have lightning cloak. And oh yes, healing and the ward. Oh, it just feels so nice, weaving all of these powers. It felt so good to use magic. I prayed to the gods to leave me one thing, this one positive thing to take away from the whole experience. After exhausting my brain with all this spell casting, I finally sat on the bed and read the book Froki had loaned to me. It was an interesting treatise on using weapons effectively before you're killed, by Eduardo Curvas. I've seen many a man rush headlong into battle, only to have their life cut short in an instant. I've been a trainer of the warrior arts for many spans, cut from the cloth of a great lineage of knights, blades, and even a distant sellsword or two. It's with this knowledge that I'll try to pen a brief treatise on the subtle art of war. Not mage fire, not archery, or criminal throat-slitting, but war. Man on man with nothing but a fine bit of steel between them. And then block. I don't need to know how to block, do I? Let's see. Foes will hit with everything they've got. Let's see. Against spells, blocking is useless. Oh, here. You can also block without a shield as well. Just cross that blow with your sword. Though this isn't nearly as effective. And if you decide you're fancy and want two blades... No. Let's see. Hammers. No. No, here. The graves are filled with many a mediocre swordsman. If you don't have the stomach for war, try a monk's work. But if you do travel the path of the warrior, learn the basics and keep your head firmly planted on your shoulders, or someone's bound to lop it off. I did feel better, rather inspired actually, after reading it. If I lost magic, I could still use my weapons. As if proving that to myself, I spent the next hour practicing swordplay in the tight space of my room. Left, right, left, overhead, again, left, right, left, right, and overhead, and front. Oh, oops, I shouldn't hit the wall. Turn to the right, and then we cross to the left, and another big overhead, left, right, left, overhead. Whew, that is a workout. Fortunately, evening was coming on by then, and the longest day of my life was almost over. I climbed into bed and, feeling exhausted but optimistic, fell into a rare, dreamless sleep.